Maybe you are sitting in a quiet room in Florida, London, or Sydney. The late afternoon sun stretches across the floor, and you find yourself looking down at your hands, etched with the stories of time. You have lived through more than 70 seasons of falling leaves. You've inhabited so many lives within this one. A child, a parent, a dedicated professional, a partner. And yet, in the deepest stillness of the night, a question still whispers in your mind. Was I ever truly good enough? If you know that feeling, the weight of a heart still seeking validation after 7 decades, then this video is for you. Welcome to Buddha's Path to Peace. Today, we aren't talking about doing more. We are talking about laying down the heavy burden of not being enough. Our society often tells us that a person's value lies in what they produce, in their busyness, or in how useful they remain to others. But few people tell you this. Self-criticism is a silent form of grief. For nearly a lifetime, you have carried expectations from long-past parents, cultural pressures to stay humble, and the ghosts of past mistakes that you've never quite forgiven yourself for. This pain doesn't need a cure, because it isn't a disease. It is a misunderstanding of your own worth. You don't need to get over it or fix it. You only need to see it for what it is. In Buddhism, we call this the burden of the conditioned self. You've spent 70 years building a fortress of worthiness, only to realize that the sky has been holding you in its embrace since the very beginning. There is a core concept in this journey. It is called Buddha nature. Imagine your soul is like a glass of water. Your anxieties, your self-reproach, your regrets about youth, these are like silt at the bottom. When life stirs the glass, the water turns murky and you think, I am this muddy water. But what is the truth? The nature of the water itself remains pure and clear. The mud can never change the essential quality of the water. Compassion or Karuna is not something you have to beg for from a deity or even from your children. Karuna is the ability to recognize that clear water beneath the silt of age and exhaustion. Why is this true? For 3 reasons. First, everything you did in the past was a result of the understanding you had at the time. You wouldn't blame a child for not knowing how to run. Second, your body may wrinkle, but your awareness does not. Third, your value is inherent, independent of whether you are still productive. Remember this. You are not what you have done. You are the presence observing what has happened. I want to tell you about a woman. Let's call her Martha. Martha lived in a quiet suburb of London. At 72, she had a tidy home and successful children. But every morning she looked in the mirror and saw a failure. She regretted not spending more time with her late husband. She brooded over a career mistake from 30 years ago. One day, she visited a meditation master and asked, "How can I pay off the debts of my past so I can finally feel good enough. The master didn't quote scripture. He handed her an old, cracked bowl and told her to fetch water from the well. Martha was worried. "Master, this bowl is broken. It will leak." The master simply smiled. "Just go." She went to the well, filled the bowl, and walked back. Just as she feared, water seeped through the cracks, dripping along the dusty path. By the time she returned, the bowl was only half full. Martha bowed her head. "I'm sorry. I failed." The master said softly, "Look back at the path you just walked." She turned around. Wherever the water had leaked, tiny, wild flowers were blooming amidst the dry stones. The master whispered, "Your cracks, your mistakes, they have watered seeds you didn't even know existed." What Martha found in that moment is exactly what you can find today. Do you see yourself in that cracked bowl? Perhaps you are staring at your own cracks. A divorce, a strained relationship with a child, or simply the feeling that you didn't live as vibrantly as you once dreamed. But in the lens of Buddhism, those cracks are exactly where the light enters. If you were perfect, you would never have learned how to be forgiving. If you had never failed, you would not know true compassion. I want to ask you a real question. How much longer do you intend to punish yourself? If a dear friend came to you with the exact same pains, would you scold them or would you hold them? Why then do you treat yourself as an enemy? Freedom after 70 is not about acquiring more. It is the freedom from having to be someone else other than who you are right now. There is a painful truth we often hide. We fear that if we aren't hard on ourselves, we will become worthless. But listen closely. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to have days where you do nothing at all. You are allowed to not be a wise elder or a perfect grandparent every single minute. That self-criticism inside you is actually just a frightened child. It wants to tell you 3 things. I'm afraid of being forgotten. Answer it. The universe always remembers your presence. I'm afraid I wasted my time. Answer it. Every breath is a new lifetime. I'm afraid I'm not good enough to be loved. Answer it. Love is your nature, not a reward for your achievements. You do not need one more accomplishment to be worthy of love. Before we conclude, I want to offer you 8 seeds of practice to nourish self-compassion. Let's do this very slowly. 1. When the voice of self-judgment rises, name it. Say, judgment is here again. Don't fight it, just watch it. 2. Treat yourself as your best friend. If you wouldn't say it to them, don't say it to yourself. 3. Forgive your past self. That person did the best they could with what they had. 4. Stop comparing. Your life is a unique song, not a competition. 5. Look at what you have given. A smile to a stranger, a meal for a loved one. These are miracles. 6. Accept the aging body. Wrinkles are a map of experiences, not a sign of decline. 7. Realize that just being here is enough. Your existence is already a gift to the world. 8. Every morning, place your hand on your heart and say, "Thank you for being here." Now, join me in a brief metta practice. Close your eyes if you can. Breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Repeat after me, silently in your mind. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. That is all. Nothing more is required. We began this conversation with the image of aging hands in the afternoon sun. Now, look at those hands once more. They have worked, they have loved, and sometimes they have trembled with fear. But they are still here, with you. You do not need to be anyone else to be cherished. Your journey is not toward perfection, but toward acceptance. You are enough from the moment you were born, and especially right now, in the noble grace of your 70s. May the light of compassion guide your every step. If these words touched a corner of your heart, perhaps it is time we walked this path together a little longer. You are welcome to subscribe so we can meet again next week. In our next video, I will be exploring how to let go of anxiety about your children's future in your later years. It is a concern many of us carry deeply. If you are looking for stillness tonight, our playlist, Restorative Meditations for Seniors, is here for you. I wish you a peaceful evening. Until next time.